Shalom and good day, this is the Healing29 back again for a DC and Indie review. And in this DC and Indie review, I'm covering The Flash by Simon Spurrier. And where the hell has this story writing been? Considering the last 13 issues were a drag. But we'll worry about that when we get to that. And of course, Street Fighter Masters Lily, which will be the indie comic that will be covered alongside this. I'll now get things organized for the first one that will be reviewed. So, moving into first things first, in relation to The Flash issue 14, does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough, it does, to which I give a 7.5 out of 10, which is really nice to give, actually, because if some of the recent covers, some covers don't fit the story, whilst other covers do. So now it's time to move into the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. So as we move into the art around the beginning of the story, we get some things happening around with someone known as the Weather Wizard, who's going to Scataris and doing some cheeky stuff there, along with the members of the Wally West family, which was really nice to see this. I must admit, and I'd have to totally agree with Rocky at Comic Boom, this should have been where Simon Spurrier started his story. He could have brought the thing, what we saw at the beginning, maybe after this. Let's now move towards the middle of the story. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, we get the Flash family members, of course, enjoying their vacation on Scataris, whilst taking care of other things at the same time. And last but not least, we catch up with Irie towards the end, who has somehow gotten into the Justice League Watchtower and sees her dad there. But I'm wondering, I know Rocky sort of indicated that she might have gone back into the past, but I'm actually wondering if what she's seeing here is because what she did, she came into the future, not the past. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, did we get anything in relation to comic book references? No, we didn't. Next is the area of time. Actually, we had quite a number of references in relation to time. We had 2 weeks ago, now that was used a couple of times, 2 days ago, as well as yesterday. And we do actually learn that somehow in the yesterday, when you look through the book, you do actually get to see Wally West there. So, yes, it's possible that she might have gone there to see him in the past, but it's also possible that she may have seen Wally West actually at a future point, considering the power of the Speed Force. Next is the area of locations, to which we had the Arctic Circle, we had Scatoris, we had the Iron Heights prison, and last but not least, we had the Watchtower. The cast of characters consisting of Flash, Kid Flash, Barry Allen Flash, which also made an appearance. We do learn that there was like a bit of a retirement party for him of sorts, which was quite interesting. Of course, the Wally West family, or the West family members. And last but not least, the character of the Weather Wizard. The overall story rating I give this is a 7.5 out of 10. I actually quite enjoyed this. Thank you, Simon Spurrier. It's nice to actually read something good in relation to the family members of the Flash. And for that, I still have Jeremy Adams to thank for more so than you. So now it's time to move in relation to the Street Fighter Masters Lily. And starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the internal art and also what's happening story-wise with the characters, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. So as the story begins, we actually catch up with the character of T-Hawk, who is teaching Lily. I must admit, Lily almost feels like a bit of a niece, more so than a daughter of sorts. But if the character does actually turn out to be a daughter, I'm not really worried. But it's nice to see sort of like father teaching daughter, or a father figure teaching someone's daughter to be able to defend themselves. And I thought this was really good at the beginning of the story, and I quite enjoyed what they did here. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, we do realize that the character of JP makes an appearance, plus a couple of other things that take place, including an interesting looking being of sorts. Whether the being of sorts is somewhat ancestral. We also learn that the character known as Eagleheart makes an appearance. We do learn that this takes place at the Thunderfoot settlement, or 30 kilometers away from the Thunderfoot settlement, to which T-Hawk and his family lives. We of course meet this particular estranged monster of sorts. I had no idea who it was. It wasn't actually indicated who it was, but I wonder if it might be a bit of a teaser of sorts as to what might be coming next in the Street Fighter series. Maybe Street Fighter 7, whatever. And last but not least, towards the end, to which they finally do defeat the opponent together, which was really good, and I loved how this story came about. And I think they really did a good job respecting not only the new character, but also the previous character. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. Was there anything in relation to time? Yes, the only thing that we had was earlier being used. Next was the location, to which we learned that this is taking place at 30 kilometers from the Thunderfoot settlement. The cast of characters consisting of T-Hawk, Lily, JP, and last but not least, the character of Eagleheart, plus an additional character who we didn't quite learn who it was. It would have been nice to maybe even get like an ancestral name of who the character might have been. It doesn't mean it's got to be accurate. It's just something that might imply something to the strength of the character. But for the overall story rating, I give it an 8 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.